you here today. We had a really good, we haven't released it yet. I had a great podcast with Beck Stevens, and and then she kindly invited us out, and we watched you play.
Oh, nice.
And that was,
and I've been a big admirer of your game. And I mentioned this. You remind me so much of Michelle Timms.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was down in Melbourne during all of Michelle's great career, and when I saw you play with the Wizards.
Correct, I did as well. So, Big Lyndon Briefies.
Oh, yeah. Lyndon, love him.
So Lyndon and I grew up together.
Cool.
I've known Lyndon since we were 2. We grew up in Bundy together.
No, I love him.
I saved his life because he was playing soccer. He was fat and he had a patch over his eye. But yes, he had us out and we watched you play a couple of years ago.
Yeah, because I think I remember seeing you on the sideline because I remember you, Bruce, from when you coached Seaball for Spartans.
Yeah.
And so, like, whenever I'd see you around, I just, like, always remembered that from a kid.
Were you on the Spartans the same with the women? You won a championship.
I was, like, how old was I then? I think I was, like, 16. Or maybe younger, actually, before I went to the AIS. But, yeah, I did win a championship with Spartans.
It says here in 2014, is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, let's get into your and we start because we go right from Wikipedia, being great researchers. So you started playing at the age of 9?
5.
5?
Yeah, so that mustn't be right.
4 brothers, 5 brothers?
5 brothers, 4 older and 1 younger.
Wow.
And so my oldest brother, I think he just joined a basketball team with his friends, and then my parents just put us all into the same sport, so she didn't, like my mum and dad didn't have to go to soccer, to tennis, all these. So we all just played basketball out at Redlands PCYC.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know they are.
And then what year were you poached from Redlands PCYC to come to the Southern Districts?
Back then, Red City wasn't a thing for rep. No. So I think I was like triple bottom age for under 12s. And people were saying, oh, you need to go play rep, you need to, get into it. And so my older brother played rep at Spartans as well. And so that's just when I moved over there, transitioned over to Spartans for rep.
Yeah.
Yeah, because once you start playing rep, it's like there's no point just playing
in a different place.
Right.
So, and Bruce and I are massive researchers, but I read a point where you think that because your mum said no to playing up, you reckon that helped you. It's like you were kicking butt or something in under 10 or something.
Yeah, so that's actually, they wanted, so I was bottom age for under 12s and they wanted me to play in Division 1, but I wouldn't have gotten on the court. And so mum told them, no, like I want her to play in Division 2, and they invited me to sit on the bench. In my polo shirt for Division 1.
Yeah.
So it was actually really good because, I mean, when you're under 12s, no one wants to sit on the bench.
No,
you want to play. And so I think that definitely helped me so much. So then I just played Division 2 and then I went into Division 1 the next year.
And having brothers to compete with. I mean, we've had this conversation. We're very fortunate. We've had Michelle Timms on here and Sandy Brondello.
That's awesome.
And both of them made commentary about that they would work out with guys.
Mm-hmm.
They would compete with doing, especially the individuals and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that's a big advantage.
I mean, growing up, they treated me like one of the boys, so it was rough always. And then when I was at Spartans, CJ Bruton was the coach of the men's team.
Yeah. Okay.
And he invited me to do individuals with him and some of the boys on the men's team. And then after our women's trainings, I asked him if I could train with the boys, and he let me. And so for Seaball, and so I did that.
And that's just I've seen you play. Your skill level is fantastic. You're a great shooter. Just to have that physicality of men, you can see that. I mean, as you said, compared to Michelle Timms and Sandy Brondello, you're definitely in that same mould, the way you play. I grew up in that era, so and that's exactly how those girls played.
Right.
And, so where do you think? So after you got to Southern Districts, you started to play rep, etc.,
Yeah.
etc. And then next minute you're in Syracuse in college.
Wow,
How does that work out?
Well, I guess, growing up, I never wanted to go to college because it wasn't really popular back then,
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was just like, no, college isn't a thing. And then I went to
But you went to a junior college first?
Yeah, because I played for Townsville Fire
Yes.
in WNBL before. And then I didn't get on the court there. And so then after that, I didn't have any contract in the WNBL, and C-Ball didn't have anything. I didn't have anything. So I just started working at McDonald's with my brother. And I got a random phone call from a junior college.
Really?
And I thought my career then was kind of over because no one wanted me in Australia. I'm a bit of a player where I'm not that point guard where I take a lot of risks as a player, like I'll do fancy passes and I'll push it in transition, where some coaches just like that slow pace.
Well,
So it's a bit different, growing up.
You're here with two old coaches who absolutely love pushing the ball. Who absolutely love up-tempo.
When you were at the Institute, who was
Yeah,
the coach?
Phil Brown.
Phil Brown.
Yeah.
Right. And you did 2 years there?
Yeah, I did 2 years there, yeah.
And then you went to the States?
No, and then
Other
I went
way
to
around.
Townsville.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think me going to the AIS was such a blessing. I'm so grateful for that opportunity because I think it showed me what I needed to do and the work ethic that I needed to put in. I'm pretty naturally talented, so I would say when I was younger, I didn't train as hard as I probably should have. And
Because no one, who you were mentoring you to give you that leadership,
Yeah.
you got to see it somewhere. I mean, training and
I trained hard in training.
Yeah.
So I trained really hard in training. If I had to do a workout, I was like 100%, right?
Yeah.
It was more that extra stuff that I didn't do then at the AIS.
Outside of the training
Outside
session?
of the training. But in the
Okay.
training session, I was like 100%, right? I learned that when I went to college. I saw when I did work out the difference in my game.
Right.
It just took me to a whole different level.
Can I ask, who are some of your contemporaries that were at the Institute with you?
Oh yeah, so Michaela Can, who
Sure.
plays for
Okay,
Logan. Sarah Blitzov, Steph Talbot was there.
oh shit.
Beck Cole was there when I first got there because I came in early and I was with a lot of the older girls.
Right.
And then my age came in. My age, it's like Louise Brown, Carly Turner, Steph Collins, Abby Wirrung.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my age group.
Okay.
But when I first got there, it was like Talbot, Carly Mijovic, Sarah Blitzovs.
You got some big names.
Yeah. And so junior college came knocking on the door and
Yeah.
big step from junior college to Syracuse. Like
Yeah.
that Syracuse is a serious basketball program.
Now, was Syracuse ACC or were they
Yeah.
Big East when you were
ACC.
there? ACC.
Yeah.
You got some big numbers.
Yeah.
So, I mean, really impressive numbers. Can I burp out these
Yeah,
numbers?
yeah,
it's right
sure.
off Wikipedia. At Syracuse. So you were there from 17-18 to 2021. You were injured in your junior year.
Yeah, that's when I was first diagnosed with breast cancer.
Okay.
My junior
Right.
year, yeah.
And that you lost the entire year there.
Yeah.
So
But
did you
17
treatment
I did my treatment and everything over there as well.
Wow.
So we'll get onto that.
Yeah, yeah.
Because as you can see, I too am living with cancer.
Yeah.
Steve's got his own special thing that's got a lot of vowels and paragraphs.
Yeah.
But this first year, you averaged 17 and a half, almost 10 assists. Mm-hmm. Were you all league that year?
I can't remember. I would think
You'd have
I was ACC, maybe ACC second team, because I think that year I had a lot of turnovers. So my second year was my best year, where I limited those turnovers,
Yeah.
and my assists were higher and my points were a little bit lower. But
not by much.
Not
not by
much.
much, by like 2 points or something. But
But you beat, yeah, I can
That
see
my
the big
second
drop in
year-
your
Second year, you
turnovers,
averaged 17, 16.9. 8.4 assists and 3.9 turnovers. So you're almost on the 2-to-1
Yeah.
on assist to turnover ratio. I think most coaches, if they're going to blurt out the advanced stats, they're going to say 3-to-1 or better.
Yeah.
And then you came back the following. You had the diagnosis and surgery in 1920
Yes.
and missed that
Yeah.
season. Came back, averaged 11.4, 7.3 assists, which led the ACC according to this asterisk, and only 4.8 turnovers a game.
Yeah. That last year was really difficult for me.
I bet.
Like I can't even
to go
fathom.
from being ACC team, like first team, being an honorable mention, All-American honorable mention, and then going to those statistics and not being where I was. And honestly, it was just, I just needed time. Because then when I came back here and I played in the NBL1 league, I was MVP of the league and all of that. But
Dominant.
I just needed time, to recover from the diagnosis.
Let's just pause and give you a little bit of breathing space here. You have gone through breast cancer.
Yeah.
And you have returned to the floor after a year of dealing with that, with chemotherapy, surgery,
Yeah.
and you're still averaging 11.4. I actually see that as outstanding. I cannot even fathom that you got back on the floor in 12 months.
Yeah.
So give yourself a pat on the back,
Yeah,
because I think
true.
that's actually outstanding.
Well, you have more here. You have played for the Opals or Gems.
Yep, I played for both.
Both?
So I played 17s Australian and then 19s Australian team at Worlds. And then I played for the Opals at the Asia Cup after after Syracuse in Jordan. I think that was 2022.
That's right. Now the cancer.
Yeah.
So you're still living with it to this
Yes.
day?
Yeah, I'm still living with it. And
So
Yeah.
after that first year,
I was cancer free.
your mission is the word they use?
No, not really. They use cancer free because they say 5 years. After 5 years is kind of when they call it remission.
Okay.
But because the 5 years I have to be on this hormonal tablet, that puts me into menopause and all of these other symptoms.
Yeah.
And so it was really hard for me in that 5 years to stay on that medicine.
Right.
Because I was just emotional, I was getting chubby, just menopausal symptoms really. Hot flashes, crazy.
Yeah,
For someone in their
It's
mid-20s.
like actually wild, the hot flashes. I feel sorry for women in their old age because I'm young, so I can probably handle with this stuff a little bit better than a 50-year-old or a 60-year-old,
Yeah. I had I had prostate cancer.
Okay.
And it's stage 4. It's
Okay,
spread.
so it's
It's
bad.
no vital organs. It's primarily in the lymphatic system,
Yeah.
bones.
Yeah.
And it can get into any other organ, but I do in fact tomorrow I have every 3 months I have an implant to keep my
Okay.
testosterone down.
Oh, okay.
And then and it worked for about 5 years. I was coaching in China.
Okay.
Missed my physical, came back from Japan feeling great.
Right.
Don't need it.
Right.
Better do it 2 years. My PSA went up. And that usually means it's disease, and sure enough, it was. But I'd always carry a towel with me everywhere.
Isn't it so interesting though? Like you felt fine, right?
No symptoms
Oh,
whatsoever.
no symptoms.
This is where
That's what I mean.
now that we know that I have it, my sons, I have
Getting
2 boys.
checked.
They need to at the age of
Yeah.
40. You got to stay on top of this.
Yeah.
But there is no history.
Yes, same.
in my
Did
family.
you do the gene testing, or you didn't get
No,
that done?
I did a test. There was if I had this genome, I could have been cured.
Okay.
I didn't have it.
Okay, makes sense. Yeah.
Right? I didn't
Yeah.
have it. So I did that testing, but I mean, it's kind of a
Yeah.
moot point. My father died at 74 from the result of a stroke. I don't know if
Random.
his father,
Right.
he died in his late 80s,
Right.
maybe had it. I mean, it's very similar to the women with breast cancer and men
Yeah.
with prostate cancer. But I tell you, the sweats.
Oh, yeah.
I'd be
So
in
from
a,
those
just
injections, you'd just be sweating.
sweating. They gave me a medication that lasted about 6 years. It was eating the protein out of my testosterone.
Okay.
But you talk about lethargic, and I couldn't.
Yeah.
If I had my water bottle, my pen, my backpack, everything here, I would stand. I couldn't sequence anything. And I'd always forget something.
Right.
I'd leave my apartment. My car keys are still in there.
From that medicine, right?
From the medicine, I was
Right.
just a fog. And
Yeah.
eventually, what they told me is, don't worry about your blood test, but you got to keep the implant. And I got that screwed up. I didn't write it down, so I'm back in China, and I got it screwed up. I didn't have the implant for 9 months. The PSA went off the
But you
roof.
felt fine.
I felt fine, and I made it a point to work out. That was one of the things they said, no matter how tired you are, get a workout in.
Yeah.
And, I've been able to, I just went through chemo in November, Tiana, and I world of respect to
Infusions, like
everybody.
infusions,
Yeah.
That's sort of when we
Sick as hell.
started this. Bruce was starting his first. He's been a long journey with his treatment, but we thought, we'd do this in between his chemo, just depending on how well he was feeling. But right now, and I've been on this journey with you with your prostate cancer, I reckon Bruce looks the best. I've seen him look
That's good.
Thank you, Tiana.
in a long time, which is great.
Yeah.
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 And I'm back coaching and what have you.
Oh, that's
so
so
I mean,
good.
that's what
Yeah.
I love to do. I guess listeners, we're with Tiana Mangakahia.
Yeah.
Rolls right off my
Love
tongue.
that.
Yeah,
You got
yeah.
I
it right.
got it right. I worked on it all week trying to make sure I had it right.
I mean, you're comfortable with talking about
Yeah.
your journey.
Yeah. Yeah.
So tell me, you got told, hey, you're cancer free. Not in remission,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
cancer free.
So I got told that after I'd just come out of having my double mastectomy. So I was a bit
And that was
high.
in the US? Did you
I
have
don't-
that
yeah.
in the US?
Yeah, I had that in America as well. Yeah. So
Yeah.
my college coach really took care of me over there at Syracuse. He said, if you want to stay here, we can help you and support you. And so I decided to stay there. I also thought coming home, when you're in a different world, that was my world, and I didn't want to leave. I didn't want to be forgotten. And I felt like if I was to leave Syracuse, and then come back, I would have kind of been forgotten a little bit. I don't know. That's
It
what I
makes
think
sense
about
to
now.
me. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
But how did you
when
find that with, obviously the colleges and the coaches and the team support, there's a lot of people supporting
Yeah.
you, but no family for
Yeah,
you. That
so
must have been tough.
It was really difficult, actually. My family came over. They rotated while I was going through treatment because that was 4 months of chemo. And that chemo was the worst, I would say. I got really skinny. I was super constipated. Couldn't go to the bathroom. I just there was no appetite. It would get to 8 p.m. at night and I'd just forgotten. I'd be like, oh, I haven't eaten today.
Yeah.
And you just don't even realize.
Did you lose your sense of taste?
Yeah, there was no even when I did eat, it was nothing.
Oh, you couldn't keep anything down. Yeah.
So what were you living in, a student accommodation?
Yeah, it was a 2-bedroom one.
And do you have someone with you?
My family would rotate while I was on that treatment.
Yeah.
So they would come. I think there was a period where I was by myself for 10 days. But, I have my friends. I'm in a college lifestyle. So I'm still going out to eat with my friends. Or I'm still hanging out with my friends. They would come over and watch movies with me.
Yeah, right.
I still had that support and family.
And the college life, you're still a part of it because
Yeah.
you're living on campus. Yeah.
And Julie Boeheim was a huge support system for me. She would send me baskets and she'd come over and just chat with me.
This is Coach Boeheim's
Yeah, Coach Boeheim's wife.
right?
Yeah, and I was friendly with them before that happened. Just friendly, you'd see them around and just have a nice chat. But then when I was diagnosed, she was there for me a lot. So that was really helpful as well. But when I heard I was cancer free, I was ecstatic, obviously. You're like, oh my gosh, yes, the plan worked, right? And that's why it was I say that first time was a lot easier for me because there was a plan. Treatment, surgery, and then you can get back on the court.
Yeah.
So mentally, it was like, yes, like I just have to get through this plan. I have to do this and do that, and I can get back on the court. Where now it's like, there's no plan. I'm changing treatments all the time. It's like,
why is that there no plan? Why?
well, the plan changes because depending on if the treatment's working, they have to change because I'm stage 4. So
Yeah,
it's
so stage
spread.
4, so that
Yeah.
means it can metastasize to
Well,
other
it has,
locations.
yeah,
Okay, so
yeah.
how are you dealing with that? Like,
I think initially, like, I was distraught and scared and afraid. Like, I think when you hear that news, you feel like you're just going to die tomorrow.
yeah,
You know, you don't know what's come ahead.
yes,
And so initially I was really scared, and I felt sad for my family as well because I know
what they're
how
going
much
through.
I meant to them. And I think that was probably the hardest part as well, like seeing my parents like try to be strong, but you could just tell that they were sad. But you know, like all the treatments that they have in place, and I had a breast care nurse, like a McGraw breast care nurse,
yes,
who helped me understand, like, you can live with this.
Right.
It doesn't have to control your life. You know, don't let it. And because there was a period where I was anxious, like I had to be with my parents. Like,
Yes.
I don't know why, like, I just had to be around them.
that makes total sense to me.
Yeah.
And we're wired, our DNA, we're wired to be with people. Like we're wired to have support systems.
Well, you
Yeah.
seem to offend an awful lot of people.
A
lot of people like
that's
being
where the name Violations is Bruce through his coaching career got a few tech fouls, right?
Oh, yeah.
In my
Yeah.
youth.
I'm used to them too, don't worry.
and he likes to introduce me to everyone as his insultant. So that's how we got violations and insults. So yeah. Anyway, let's get back on you.
This
That-
just makes you, in my mind, watching you play still. Great vision.
Yeah.
One of the best passing guards. Again, I go back to Timsy. You just remind me so much of her with the energy and the defensive intensity, but the vision and the handles.
Yeah.
That you're back playing is it's just a credit to you, but also I think
it's
that
inspiring. There's no question.
it is huge inspiration, and this is our theme this year is for us as women in sport. And
that.
I look at all of the. I mean,
Love that.
we've had now with you and Timsy and Sandy and Katrina Robertson and let's face it, what Beck Stevens is doing is the only
great.
female
Yeah.
general manager of a
Wow.
large
I
association.
think she's
it's
our
the
next.
largest
She's
association.
our next podcast to drop.
It's dropping
okay.
this week.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Got to get on to my
Keen
son to
listen
get it.
that.
But Tiana, let's go on now. So what meds?
Yeah.
Are you still taking cancer
Yeah,
medications?
so last year I was on chemo infusions, which is when I lost my hair and everything all over again. And then in January I did a rescan. So every 3 months I do rescans. And now I'm on like chemo tablets
Okay.
because that treatment before wasn't working.
Daily?
Daily. So 4 in the morning and then 4 at night.
Wow.
But it was 3 last month, but this month they've upped the dose to 4. And one of my side effects, actually, I just made a TikTok about it because I feel like I'm super open, but I don't talk about it much unless people ask me. So I made a TikTok.
People sometimes
They might feel awkward.
they don't want to upset
But
you.
it's so I'm like, I'm not offended or upset about it. Like,
And I think that's
But you
another.
make a good point because I found that too.
Yeah.
And I was always open and honest that I don't
Yeah.
know where this is going to go.
right.
So when I did some work with for 3 years with Terrace.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'd always have to tell them that, mate, I'll be honest with you. And last year I had a bad health year. I had oral surgery and radiation and twice,
Yeah.
and then the chemo. But I gotta always let them know that
Yeah.
it's not going to be from a lack of
And-
wanting to do
right.
it.
And
Just
that's why,
sometimes
like-
physically I can't.
And that's why Beck has been so amazing for me because,
Yeah.
and I've already built that relationship. I've known her forever. So I've already had that relationship with her. But that's another reason why I went to Spartans is because I want them to understand, like, I know I deserve to be paid this much, but I also know that I'm very irreliable. What's the word?
Something could change.
Unreliable.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like this week, my feet. One of the
Do you
symptoms
have neuropathy?
on the bottom of my feet, it feels like sunburn. So like this whole week, I've literally just been in bed. I feel fine. It's just my feet, like walking.
And that's from
And that's
the
a side
chemo.
effect from the tablets.
I still have it in my left hand.
So it's called hand and foot syndrome.
Right.
Where
What do the specialists that you currently have,
Yeah.
what do they think about you playing?
Oh, well, yeah, that's actually a good question. So originally 2 years ago, they told me I need to medically retire because the cancer is in my bones.
Yep.
And if I was to break a bone, it could be like really bad, right? I've never broken a bone in my life. So 2 years ago, I'm like, okay, I need to. Also, my chest was in a lot of pain. And then I had radiation and the pain went away. So 2 years ago, I was like, yep, I'm retiring. Okay? Because there's just no point, right? But then last year, I was assistant coach for Sutherland Sharks in Sydney for NBL1. And I started rebound for some of the girls. And I'm like, you know what? I can jump in trainings here and there when girls are away or someone's missing. And I was training and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm like...
Feel good.
Good. I'm still good. And so then... towards the end of the season, I was like, oh, should I play? And then it was too late. So then this year, I'm like, you know what? Beck has been calling me like nonstop. She's like, come play. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. And I think, honestly, like, it's 2 trainings a week. It's not that much toll on my body. I have that connection and relationship with Beck and Brad, the coach now, where if it's too much for my body, like, they don't... I feel bad sometimes about it, but they respect it and they're like totally fine with it.
I watched you play and I was just in awe because I watched you play that Wizards. You went out and watched and you were sensational. And then Bruce gets cross at me because he thinks that I get like female crushes like on Timsy and Sandy, and obviously here I'm praising you, But I love the style of play that you have. I mean, that's just the type of player I love to watch, and if male or female, right?
Yeah.
And but I was watching you off the ball, and that's where people who don't play basketball or understand basketball is just watching your intensity and talk and off the ball, and I go, you would be adding so much to the young girls in that squad.
Well, your team. You guys are undefeated as we sit here.
Undefeated,
You got a very nice team.
Yeah,
who do you see? I don't mean to interrupt, but I do a lot of that. Who are your toughest opponents do you see in NBL1 North? Who are the teams that you're aware of?
Yeah.
Because you beat the Caps like redheaded stepchildren.
Honestly, I just feel like Logan.
Yeah.
Because they have Michaela, great point guard, and then they have good size as well, which is similar to us. Mackay also have been really well. I think they're undefeated as well. And so we play them in 2 weeks, so that'll be good.
At home?
At home, yeah.
Good.
So that's good. That's exciting.
I was going to come watch you play on Saturday against against the Caps.
It's at
That's
the
this
Caps.
Saturday, this Saturday.
Yeah.
We play Caps.
But we
this
can't.
Saturday.
It's right now. They're going through the renovation.
I know it's hectic over there.
Well, so we're talking to him. Bruce is going, hey, Steve wants to come.
Yeah.
And they go, oh, he has to navigate 5 stairs. And I said, okay, between me and my mates, we'll navigate 5 stairs. They go, oh, and there's only portaloos. I'm going, well,
oh no.
okay, well, I'll just have to hang on and not drink.
No, they'll just lay papers down around you.
Yeah.
It's a dump.
Yeah. But Brisbane's really good though. Like their point guard, they've got, I think she's younger, Hippolyte is her last name.
Yeah.
I like playing against her. Like she's like, because she's younger and it's like a good bump, It's like a bit of respect there, I think, for her.
I've yet to see them play, but
So I'm sorry I won't be there because this
That's
is
okay.
actually...
Come to the home Mackay game.
Yeah,
That'll be a better one.
I really... Beck was so nice to invite us.
Oh, she was a great host.
We had Benny T, we had Roger in our box, we had Curly in our box. We had a really good night. And the crowd was fantastic.
When we played Wizards, I was like, I spoke to Cameron after he's the president.
Cameron Miser, the president.
Yeah. And he was like, you're always welcome back here. And I do have a soft spot for Wizards because they were like my home for 2 years, you know, and they always
looked after you.
looked after me and took care of me.
Yeah, they're good guys. I mean, Cameron's a really good guy. I know him via Lyndon, obviously. Yeah, I mean, that's a good association.
Yes, can I interrupt?
You can. Yeah. You're good at it.
You played 2 seasons, but 1 season, didn't you go to Russia?
So I played 1 year. Yeah. And then I went to Russia because it's in the other time of the year.
Yeah, okay.
So then I went and played it in Russia, and then that's when the war happened. So then I came home a bit earlier than the season. I came home in like February. And then I played for Northside 1 more year, and that was my like MVP year.
Right, okay.
And then I played in Sydney for the Flames.
Right.
And then I went to France.
Now, who's the coach of the Flames at the time?
Shane.
Shane Heal?
Yeah.
Ah, okay. A name that we don't speak much of here on the podcast. Not that I don't need my life threatened a 5th time.
Anyway.
I'm scared.
Yeah, no, don't worry about that. I think...
Hey, Russia, though, a quick question.
Yeah.
What was that like?
Borscht.
What was like playing in Russia?
It was cool because all the really good players go there.
Yeah. In
WNBL. So you get to play against really good quality basketball. And then the outside life... It's awesome. Like, I was in Moscow, so the city and the buildings are like amazing and beautiful. The only thing is it's freezing.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
It's like the snow was up to here, like
wow,
crazy. But other than that, it was actually so good.
Yeah, Tiana, share some of the players that you played against when you were in Moscow.
Oh yeah, so I played against Brittany Griner.
Oh, sure.
Arike Agumbuale, Taisha Harris. She plays for, I think, Dallas right now.
Yeah. I mean, the women's basketball is just...
Something's going on with Brittany Griner.
She's leaving America or something.
No, she's just a thug.
Yeah, she's like she's very rough, right? I don't know. I'm like a Caitlin Clark fan.
Well, as I am.
I love Caitlin Clark.
Oh, I think she is simply amazing.
Anyone who elbows her in the face or says things to her on the court, I'm just like,
It's not on. And then the cheap shots.
I
mean, you just walk around with
I think
me on my
I think she's winning the PR.
Yeah, 100%.
Because she just is just cops it, says very little, but her buddies, is it Cunningham and Hull?
Oh, yeah.
They're like her bodyguards.
Yeah. It's actually interesting. I just saw on Instagram a post. So she's out for 2 weeks at the moment.
Yes.
And they play another team. Chicago. And this 71% down from ticket sales.
Yeah. So they moved to the bigger facility because of her. I also read that the ticket, not only did they go down, they dropped the ticket price from $84 to $20.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because Caitlin's not playing. That is insane.
I mean, she brings that. But
well, look I want to keep digging into the Tiana Mangakahia. How did that one go?
That was alright.
Okay, bear with me. So this season is big, and you made a tremendous comeback, and we're going to keep seeing you playing. And it's amazing when you talk about you taking the daily chemo.
Tablets,
I play golf with a guy that does that, and he stuns me. He's 10 years older than me.
Oh wow!
And I'm like, he's got some lymphoma. And I'm like, mate.
Yeah.
You should be swinging you should be tired.
Yeah.
You should look shitty.
Yeah.
How about coaching?
Oh, I love it. So I coach QSL.
Okay.
So I love my girls. I think I'm super lucky to have learned from Guy Malloy and Renee Garlop. When I was diagnosed, Sydney Flames offered me to be an assistant coach with them.
Right.
Or with Renee, as Guy's the head coach. And I just feel so grateful to learn from them because it was so eye-opening to me. They're very different coaches in the style of play they like. And I could see the detail that guy would go into with every single player, and he studies the game so much.
Yeah.
Like, he is a very, like, he's deep thinker. And then Renee's side of things is, I think she wants to just like transition, push, go, and
Renee is she the Gems head coach now?
Yeah.
It's Tommy Garlip's
Yeah. Wife.
lovely wife. They're a good pair of good basketball coaches.
Yeah.
So your QSL squad, now the girl that coached the QSL, you have some big girls. You have some size, height.
Yeah, we do.
And I was asking Beck, I can't remember names. This is why I can't run for political office. Tiana, nobody,
It's okay.
everybody's old mate. But she got pregnant, right? The coach that was coach of QSL last year, or was that maybe that's a youth team? No, I'm thinking of the youth coach. Where they had size.
Oh yeah.
And they had two great point guards.
Oh yeah.
In your mold.
So they're kind of, well, Piata. I know Piata. She's a little Samoan girl.
Yeah.
She is on my QSL team now.
She came up from the youth squad.
Yeah. I have a lot of younger girls in my QSL team actually, and I think we're 8-2 right now. So we're doing really well. We're top of the ladder right now. And it's interesting to see me as a coach compared to a player. I think as a player, I'm super aggressive and intense. Where as a coach, I try to be a little bit less like that and let them learn from their mistakes. And obviously I'm learning as I go.
Do you think coaching and you're playing, I mean, you've had to evolve, you're dealing with physical things, your feet, for example, today.
Yeah.
But do you think coaching has helped you as a player?
I think I'm still that same player.
Okay.
Like I think I'm still the same player as I was even before
I guess
coached.
I'd say that, like, Bruce and I've coached for a very long time, and you mentioned Guy Malloy in the detail.
Yeah.
I think coaching is harder than playing. Like playing.
Oh man. You know what? After a game as a player, you kind of think about the mistakes that you made because they're like, you've done it, and you just go back and watch film on the mistakes that you made. Whereas a coach, you're like, should have I done this? Should have I done that? When you lose, it's like there's so many other things that you think about that you could have done or you thought you could have done better, that as a player you don't really think that deep into it.
Well, I mean, you can really break it down. I mean, we love mixing things up, changing. Like I get bored shitless watching coaches who just play man to man, half court man to man, and just try to outscore you.
Yeah,
that for me is boring. We like to trap, we like to push, we like to do different things, like and how we defend the pick and roll.
Correct.
I also think another thing that's helped me, not only coaching with Guy and Renee, but starting with QSL.
Yeah.
Some, I don't know, I feel like some coaches, they just, like even Renee, she started at Youth League.
Yeah.
That was her first head coaching job. And so, I spoke to her because I'm like, I feel like I can be an NBL1 coach. And she was like, T, I think just start low, get your coaching style, understand how you like to coach, and then you can move up. And I think that was the best advice.
Yes.
Because I think I could have gotten a coaching gig for NBL1, but I wouldn't have been ready for it, I don't think.
Well,
This is helping me.
I have a colleague who applied for an NBL1 job, did great at QSL. And he was honest during his interview and said, I'm not as strong with the video scouting.
Okay.
Shot him out of the job. And my advice, you're ready. If you think you're ready, you're ready. Any question, no, I'm good at that. And if I'm not, I'll get the best guy available to do that. But we didn't. So do you spend a lot of time in your coaching role scouting your opposition, or do you guys have our rules and it doesn't matter who we play?
More our rules.
Yes.
I don't watch too much of the opposition. I know a few of the players, especially in this level, they've got like one or two good players on their team. So I just, tell some of the girls that they're guarding, hey, she loves to shoot the ball, so don't let her get it off. Little things like that. Not too much about the plays they're running or anything. It's like, this is what we're doing on ball screens. If they start making threes, stuff it, we're going over. You got to adapt throughout the game. And yeah, that's more of what I am as a coach. I know Tony Stevens, so Beck's dad, is my assistant coach.
Right.
And he talks to me more about the opposition than I'm more focused on.
Yeah.
What you're doing. Yeah.
When we enjoyed, we won a QSL championship. Can't remember the years, but these are our rules. We played pack line.
Yeah.
And I used to always be no middle, no paint. But we found the rotations were shorter, and if everybody's on the same page, and we would always side pick and roll, always fight over.
Yeah.
And if you're caught, it's a switch.
Right.
It's the wall underneath it, right? Stay on the top side.
Yeah.
But we didn't scout until we got to the playoffs.
Yeah.
And really, I want to know their out of bounds
like
play.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, well, this
But
isn't an I think.
if we had we could watch the warm up, or we would see the scores or something. And go,
Little
hey,
things
obviously, the point guard's a good point guard. We're going to put him under pressure.
Yeah, bump him as often we count the hits, right?
It doesn't matter who it is. The point guard's their best player. Well, we're going to get the ball out of his hand. Yeah. We're going to make him work his ass off.
And I think at this age too, I think these girls, like, they need to focus more on us, because if they get too much thinking about the other team, then they forget what we're good at.
Well, you stop playing instinctively once you're thinking.
Yeah.
And
So
I think it's not
Just
I
play.
think, it's fact that discovery is the best way to learn. Right? But, won't touch that again.
Yeah.
So as far as, and we were talking about this in our little Coach's Corner segment, and it's great that we can pick your brain on this, and that I've got kids year 10, so they're in the early stage of learning, and they have to play a sport at Brisbane Grammar School.
Okay.
They're going to be great doctors, lawyers, and engineers.
They're smart.
But they can't, they're all right. They can't use their left hand. So like some of this, and Steve and I were talking, we're going to teach out of the hole, but God, we got to invest in skill work.
Yeah.
When you only get an hour and 15 twice a day or twice a week.
Yeah.
How much will be retained. So as far as the whole, the offense, the spacing.
It's such a hard one.
No shot clock. And they can play zone, and I'm expecting a lot of coaches roll out the ball, sit in a bumper pool zone, because kids can't shoot.
That is so annoying, and they can't play defense, so they're just like, let's go into a zone.
Go into a zone, that's not the answer.
It drives me crazy.
So I many years ago was a PE teacher at Terrace, and we had 5 teams. It wasn't a big sport. Like, they now got like 70 teams at Terrace. It's insane. But I worked the first season I was there, everyone from grade 8, everyone played zone.
Yeah.
And I just said, this is just wrong. So I had to fight really hard. I got support from a guy called Brett Susie at State High.
Oh, yeah.
Michael Murray at Ipswich. You go to State High?
Yeah.
So Brett's a great guy. But we came in, and that's when we first said, you can't play you can't play zone. And I thought it was, the only team that could play zone was the grade 12. But it sounds like year 10, you're allowed to play.
Well, Redland Bay is just in the Brisbane State High catchment area.
No way.
What's that?
No
You
way.
meant to be in the catchment area.
No, because you can get like scholarships and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's why.
And of course, we don't need to go down that road. You were a scholarship athlete. Yes.
So, but I want to go back to if a team isn't very skilled, right? Do you spend that 15, 20 minutes before training to work on their skills?
Yeah, our ball handling and passing.
Right? Yeah.
So we're going to be doing
but we do it fast,
pull-ups.
and we correct on the run. We don't stop.
Okay.
And we see it a lot where coaches will spend too much time because they're trying to make a drill perfect.
Yeah.
Hey, we did it this week. We might do the same drill next week, and we're doing it better.
Yeah.
And you gradually improve over time, but you have to do these skill-based things are critical.
Yeah.
Because we try to encourage them to. It's also what you do outside of the training session.
Yes.
When you got an hour and a half once a week, or an hour twice a week.
Yeah.
We
'Cause
can't do their fitness. Do that we expect you to go work on that, right?
Because I also coach at Faith Lutheran College out in the Redlands because my niece and nephew go to that school, and they've asked me they wanted me to coach their school team. And the girls, we made CBSQ this year, so that's exciting.
Wow.
But I have those players that can't dribble left or can't, and it's really frustrating going from QSL girls who have all made state teams in like high level to like lower level, you know, and it's.
I think it's great for us as coaches.
Yeah, it is.
You know,
you learn a lot about patience.
We were talking about this, like when you coach elite athletes, it's more about managing the egos, getting them to buy into the culture or what style of play, right? You're not teaching them to dribble at left hand.
And like little things about like time management on the game, like my point guard, I've told her 100 times, just dribble it out, okay? We want the last shot. Do not pass it.
So you have to practice
dribble the ball.
That's important.
And let someone come and set you a screen, and don't go until there's 8 seconds left on the shot on the clock.
But do you put the clock on at training?
No, but like, come on, bro. Like, you're 19 years old. Like,
but what I'm saying
I get that. We need to practice that more.
Everything done in time and score.
Even in a timeout, like if we run something that Bruce would last few years. I went coach last few years, but I coached with Bruce. I used to be a head coach. My whole life, but I enjoy him having that responsibility and just having it. I really enjoy it. But we would have done that if we've run a play. We would have done it at training. And I think a lot of people make that mistake. They'll try to run something that the players have never seen before.
I found something out, Tiana and Stephen. Our guys didn't know, like diagrams, like an arrow. What does that mean? They're guesting now. The squiggly, the dribble. The broken line is a pass.
The nomenclature is the fancy word of saying the nomenclature is the language of basketball. So, I mean, today we see a lot of stuff on socials. All these people coaching people and charging families $100 and. It's like there's a word for every between your legs, and you cross it over and then you jab this way. That's called a on-site pull jab with your dick in your hand.
Sorry,
this is actually so funny because it's true. Like
just have a good crossover, have a good between the legs. That's all you need.
Yeah. No.
And a speed dribble with your left hand.
Correct.
Have you seen Arrested Development where Buster has his left hand chewed off by a seal?
I haven't.
Have you seen Arrested Development?
No.
You get onto it. It's a great one.
Okay.
But he's in the hospital. The doctor comes out and goes, he's going to be all right.
Oh, okay.
Because his left hand's missing. That's what our guys are. They're all right. I want to ask, can I interrupt?
Yeah, you're really good at it, so keep doing it.
So you're coaching the QSL, you're playing NBL1. Obviously, those two teams don't practice together.
No, but my QSL girls are invited to train with NBL1 on Tuesday nights.
Okay.
But we train Mondays and Thursdays.
Right.
QSL. And then NBL1 we train Tuesday nights and Thursdays. So we train Thursdays, we train before NBL1.
You guys train at Southern Districts?
No, we train at the Bullets facility.
Really?
Yeah. So that's...
Well, you were there. You saw it.
I've been to that facility. It's really good.
Is it the court have enough runoff on sides and
for us, yes. Maybe not for grown men.
Right.
Because I heard that was like what people were saying, but for us it's fine.
Right. BBC that's where our women, for 2 years I was the administrator for our 6 senior teams at the Capitals.
Okay, cool.
And I found out over 2 years that I don't enjoy that. I'd rather coach a team instead of being everybody's butler. But we would train, the girls would train out at BBC, and I'd say, mate, there's no runoff.
Space,
on sides or on the baseline.
The baseline's fine. It would be more the sides.
The sidelines.
The sides aren't.
Yeah, it's always
very close.
dark.
It's dark in there. And
I only rolled onto they had all the they invited a whole bunch of past players there just recently, and so we had and you couldn't come because it was Carol's birthday.
Carol being the second luckiest woman on earth, my wife. Yeah.
So anyway, they had us there. I mean, I walked on the court. It did look tight.
Yeah, it was.
But I don't know. Are the Bullets running their training sessions there?
I'm not sure.
Or are they just doing their individuals
I've
there?
seen some guys like Tamri or whatever in there shooting around.
Okay.
But I am not sure at all.
Okay.
And then we train for NBL1. We train at Spartans once a week.
Okay.
And then Bullets the other day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's fair enough. I mean, our guys don't get to train at Auchenflower because it's a bomb site.
Yeah, because we played there QSL. My team played there like 2 weeks ago against QSL.
Did they have
girls.
the bleachers out?
Behind the benches,
Yeah.
yeah. But not, that was all covered on the
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting this weekend when we play them.
Yeah.
Well,
See what it's like. I haven't been to one of
I
them.
can't believe that they're
They're
allowed.
allowed, I know.
It's just not, well,
And it's like $20 for people to get in.
20.
$20.
And $30 to use the Portaloo. Well, my good friend from Ken Baker from Height for Hire is a big sponsor of many things. Compare Golf Club, Brisbane Capitals,
Rugby.
Jeeps Rugby.
He's a great
Brian
guy.
Curl's Academy.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
And all they got to probably have to do, Beck would just need to ring him. He's a huge supporter of local sport, but he's got a box. It's a pen, right? and so Curly's coming. Steve can't use it because he can't get into a Portaloo. I said, mate, we'll lay papers. But I'm just surprised, honestly, that BQ would allow it.
I know.
I just don't, but I don't know why they. I mean,
Too.
I've got nothing to do with Brisbane basketball anymore. But like, why wouldn't they just hire another venue?
Why would they actually want to play there?
Yeah, like just hire a venue.
know,
like,
They don't want to have to spend any money for hiring another venue.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
Just-
but surely more people, if they hired a half, like something at, in, like, what do you call it, South Bank TAFE for...
that's where we trained
Yeah.
as well. We've trained there a few times too.
It's not a bad
And
Yeah.
you get
venue,
they're
good
nice
court.
stadium and you get more people there and you
Yeah.
generate more income.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's not for us to...
No.
argue.
And it's going to be it'll be a really good game.
Can we take a jump stop
Oh, sure.
and pivot? I just want to make a comment about an article that was written by Braden Hazelhurst. Great article about you, Tiana. Like, he wrote that really, really well.
Yeah.
And there's just, I mean, any of our listeners, it's on the basketball, I don't know what you call this with basketball.com.au that's come up, but it's a great article written by Braden. And I just wanted to go to a quote that you had at the end here, which really sat with me. And it says, "Cancer does scare me, but not living my life to the fullest scares me more."
Yeah.
And just having now watched you, I knew you had already dealt with your first round of cancer when I saw the Wizards, and I went, wow. And now what you've been through again and you're doing it again. I mean, that's just a credit to you. And I find that quote resonates with me.
That's a great quote.
Yeah.
I'm going to make it into a T-shirt first. Right? With Tiana Mangakahia.
Quote.
Have you noticed that I have, just calling Tiana her name, because I struggle with my own name, so it's very difficult to
You
mention.
struggle with your own name.
Yeah, I struggle to spell my
Saying it
name.
with a straight face. Okay. Tiana, I want to... I'm tying this into a bow because I know that I have to coach Brisbane Grammar 10As today.
Oh, okay.
All
Good luck.
right. But thank you so much. Your story is so great, and your achievements are
we're
like
big
this year.
fans.
I expect. I'd be surprised if you guys don't win it.
Yeah. Same.
You know what I mean? No pressure.
Yeah. No, I don't feel pressure. It's fine.
You don't feel pressure. You handle adversity better than anybody in this room.
I think we might have to lean on our good friend Beck and get out there one more time to...
come watch. Come watch us.
I'm not. I won't
Maybe
come
finals.
watch, but do we need to be fully catered?
Do we need to be free catered?
Fully catered.
Fully catered. You don't need to, but
But it sure makes watching sport much more fun.
yeah, it does. My brother's
Well,
bought
that
a
was
box.
the only reason I was going to join you on Saturday night. But,
I was sitting next to a lad, the box next to us.
Yeah.
I don't know if they were related. They knew you.
No, they weren't related. To
Okay.
My brothers were on the other side of you guys.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was sitting with a lad though. He's playing at a community college.
Oh,
He was
cool.
actually at high school there. Aussie.
Oh, cool.
I said, "Are you a Southern Districts lad?" He goes, "Yeah."
Oh, wow.
And now he's got something to a JC.
Okay.
Oh,
I
nice.
said, well, I'm sitting next to a baller.
Yeah. That's cool.
But we're going to be following big time. We really
Yes.
thank you for this. And it's a great message to our listeners that, hey, cancer is not a killer.
Yeah.
You can live with it.
with it. Uh-huh.
And make the most of it. And
Right.
you're an inspiration to me, both as a player and how you're going about this. Because I'm in the same boat, right?
Yeah.
Only I don't have
And
my
you-
playing career
But you
in front of me.
but you also do a good job of, I saw you at the game, getting out and doing things and not.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
When we have things like this, we can definitely dig ourselves into a hole, and it's easy to do that when you kind of think negatively, right? That's when you get. But when you start thinking positive and you go out and you start doing things and like seeing you around the stadium and stuff, it definitely inspires me as well. Like you're out there and supporting teams and coaching as well. So I think we both inspire people.
well, this is. I think this
basketball.
is episode 29.
Yeah.
So we started this thinking that I'd have my mum as the only fan.
She dropped off after the second
She
episode.
dropped off already.
Yeah. And,
I love that.
But we've just had the most amazing guests and people wanting to tell their story, and we actually love it. Like this for Bruce and I has become something, and we sort of feel like the commentary we get back about people hearing stories and hearing a bit about the old days. Like we're not interviewing, the guys in the NBL or we're mostly people through our generation, but you're definitely probably the most relevant in terms of still playing in stands right now that we've interviewed.
And decorated.
Absolutely.
And decorated big time.
Totally decorated.
But
with a
what I'd
challenge.
like to do, Tiana, without burdening your time, we have a segment, and we did a little coach's corner before you arrived, but we're just talk X's and O's,
Okay,
and preparing your team,
Cool.
and handling adversity. And I know I didn't handle my trials very well at Grammar because I kept saying you guys can't shoot rock climbing. Soccer, right, is for you.
Yeah.
Get in the pool.
Yeah.
And it shatters their poor little egos there. I told Dan George, I said, mate, I made a point every time I drive here, I'm not going to be the prick I was the day before I was here to these
seriously.
kids. And
Look, I've been around you a long time. You're outstanding at it.
I coached a year. Do you mind? Let's talk about Bruce.
Yeah.
I coached a year in Japan, and I would always ask, as you do as a teacher, you ask questions to confirm learning.
Right.
Well, they told me at the midway point that, why are you always asking the players questions? Don't you know what you want? And I go, well, yeah, it's in a... And I found this is through their entire education system.
Yeah.
You regurgitate facts, man. That's it. They go 6 days a week to school, and no lateral thinking, right? You bang. So I said, well, of course, I explain what we're going to do, why we do it, and how we do it. I need to know they understand that. He goes, we don't do that here. You just tell them what to do.
Wow.
I go, well, then they're not accountable to anything.
I'm asking a lot of questions for the
I
guy.
always ask my girls, how do you guys feel about that? Because they're the ones out there.
They're the ones out there.
Like, if they're not comfortable with getting over and late switching on a ball screen, then, like, okay, we'll gap and get through and see how that goes. And then I say, how do you feel about that? They're like, yeah, we feel better about that. I'm like, okay, cool.
Then they have ownership.
Yeah. And
They're
then
in.
they feel more confident out there.
But I think you now that you've been in the Steve McLeod studios and all the associated funk, we're going to have another coach's corner. Can we ask you back on as a coach?
Okay, yeah, I would love that.
That's great.
I'd love that.
That's great. Is this time on a Thursday work for you?
Yeah.
Oh, we're balling out.
I'm in the city already. Got training at night, so it's fine. Yeah.
Give me a handful of knuckles, Tiana.
Thank you guys
so
for having
much.
me on.
Oh,
Love
hey,
it.
we're here to promote it, and all you viewers, any basketball fan, male or female, you got to get out and watch the Southern Districts Spartans and Tiana Mangakahia.
Yeah.
God, it's getting better each time.
It is.
Get out and watch a real special player. It got my admiration and respect, Tiana. Best of luck this season.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tiana.
Thank you.